Recording in
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rewind and Reflect, where we believe in the universal truth that there's no such thing as coincidences or mistakes. We are here to share our life story on that with you. And my name is Deb Miller.
Hi, everybody. Susan Doyle. Hi, girls. I'm a little punchy today. I'm not going to lie. It's Friday. I'm punchy.
We like Punchy Sue. Sassiness is going to come out.
I'm punchy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen Longmore, and I am not punchy.
So, girls, I just have to tell you this. So, by now, by the time this goes on, like everybody will know this, but I was at the Zach Brown concert on Sunday at Fenway where he gave away free cruises plus a guest to every single person at the stadium.
Incredible.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You didn't hear about that,
Like,
Kristen.
I feel like the universe intervened here. Like, you would not believe, because I was supposed to see him. I probably would have seen him both times, but I was supposed to see him at the Sphere. So I love him. My daughter Olivia turned me on to him when she was in high school. Freaking love him. I remember
so
her
good.
saying to me, like, he's got a voice like velvet, Mom, and he's so talented songwriter. And she's seen him, I think, twice at Fenway. And I always wanted to go, and I just, life gets in the way, right? And you talk yourself out of all these things. So for the first time I saw him 2 years ago, he was touring with Kenny Chesney, and I saw him at Gillette, which was phenomenal.
Wow.
But it was, and so I saw that he had a 6 or 8 week stint at the Sphere last January. So anyway, long story short, I had tickets, had the whole thing, and life blew up and the shit hit the fan, so I didn't go. So, but like right after that, I saw that he had put on Fenway, and I'm like, for the love of fucking, I will go by myself. So I called my daughter. I'm like, get me 2 tickets. So, long story short, the concert was last Sunday. It was, first of all, whoever goes to Fenway, I will see them there. It was so much fun. That park is so old. So much fun. And so it was his 15th time playing at Fenway and his 15th consecutive sold out show there. And big influence of his was Jimmy Buffett. He brings out Mac McInerney, who is Jimmy Buffett's lead guitar player, playing Jimmy Buffett, because he's like, I got a big surprise for you tonight, Boston. And so I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. He's had a couple of collabs, a couple of duets with Jimmy Buffett, right? So halfway through his second set, so backstory is there's a new cruise liner called the Margaritaville USA. So it's Jimmy Buffett inspired. I don't know if it's Jimmy Buffett's label or company that owns it, but Zach Brown designed one of this entertainment spaces on this ship. I'm hoping I'm saying the story right. So he said, okay, everybody, I got a big surprise for you. And this thing goes up on the Tron and it says, text same boat Boston to this number. And he announces to the audience that he is giving every single person in attendance plus a guest a free cruise in the Margaritaville, USA, starting in 2027.
Shit. So that means you and Olivia.
Well, I was with my husband at the concert, so he gets a guest and I get a guest.
Gee willikers. Okay.
And so you had to follow all these prompts and everything. And so we're waiting to get the details. It was a $40 million giveaway, the biggest giveaway of all time in history.
Wow. And that's just incredible.
That's so
I went to John Mellencamp. I did not get free tickets to anything. I didn't.
And it was I'm like, okay, so the universe, I probably would have gotten motion sick at the Sphere, right? and the universe put me right there. We had great seats. It was like great. It was just spectacular.
Will you get motion sickness on the cruise, Sue?
We were
I don't
talking about
know.
that.
So that's
Yeah.
the big thing. I'm like, I'm gonna get the tickets. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm gonna use them though, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's awesome. I mean, what a
Yeah,
great thing to do. That's something I
no
feel like
kidding.
Taylor
I would
Swift would
really
do.
like to think if I had that kind of money, I would do the same thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
I
Very
would
nice.
do good things with it.
Yeah. I know you would for sure.
He's
You,
just like a hometown boy.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So good.
With his toes in
Yes.
the sand.
So toes
With his
ass in the
toes and
water. Yeah.
ass in the sand,
Ass in the sand.
in the
Sorry.
sand, toes in the water.
Toes in
Yeah.
the water, ass in the sand.
Yeah, something like that. You would
Yeah.
think I would know the words at this
I
point.
do like Zach Brown. I'm a big fan, and Tim McGraw too. And
He just played Fenway also.
I know I would have loved to see
Tim
him.
McGraw's hot.
Yeah.
I think Zach Brown's hot. He's so beefy and so yummy looking.
Yummy.
He is yummy.
So, well,
Music.
that's exciting
Anyway, I
news.
digress, and I didn't mean to take over, but I had to tell
Oh
you
no,
guys
that's
it's
good.
so
I know that's
exciting.
so exciting. That
And
is
like I went into
exciting.
class, like I went to teach class the next morning, and people are like, because I have my Zach Brown t-shirt on, right? And they're like, "Is it true?" I said, "It is true." They're like, "I thought all this stuff on social media was fake." I said, "No, it is actually
Mm,
true."
mm. Okay.
Anywho, sorry.
Well, I was just going to bring up another thing, but I don't think I'm going to about social media. But
Go
well, we
ahead,
can
bring it
speaking.
up.
Well, no,
Bring
no.
it
I
up.
mean, okay. So something interesting has been happening. As everybody knows, there's been a lot of Deb Wallace Miller on social media lately. That's because, as I told the audience months ago, I've hired a PR person to do my social media. So she is doing a great job and, really posting a lot. And I've been getting speaking engagements. It's all been going really well. But something really interesting has been happening. I'm getting a lot of people that are contacting me saying things like, I can't believe that, you went through this, or I would have never have pegged you for somebody who struggles with addiction, or you seem so put together. Um, I actually had somebody, this was a couple years ago, but I had somebody say to me, um, sorry, I have some dogs here and they're barking their heads off. I hope you guys can't hear it.
I can't hear him.
I can
Okay,
barely
good.
hear it. Yeah.
Somebody said to me, they offered me a drink and I said, no, I don't drink. Why not? Well, I'm in recovery. Why? And I said, well, because I had I was addicted to prescription pills, so I've been clean and sober for many. And he looked right at me and he goes, you were not. And I said, yeah, I was. And he goes, who told you that? And I said, oh, well, the police, the hospital staff,
The
my
judge.
family. Yeah, exactly. The legal system.
The
They've
law.
all
Yeah.
told me that I have an addiction and I needed to get help. I'm like, and
Great answer, Deb.
we just laugh at now. I see him all the time and he's always like, who told you that? I'm like I would make that up. So
Yeah, like somebody would actually make that up given
like they would choose to
the stigma
yeah,
of that,
exactly.
given the judgment of that, given, I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
I know. But it happens more frequently than not that somebody would say to me, and this I hear a lot too. Well, you can drink because, I mean, it wasn't really alcohol that your problem was. Well, it was. It started as alcohol, which then led to other drugs because your inhibitions are down and you're just like, yeah, I want to feel better. I want to feel better. I want to feel better. So more, more, more. It just so happened that the chemicals in my brain reacted more to the opioids than they did to alcohol. So You
Would you
know,
use what, like, would you use alcohol to come down? Like, did you use it as a counterbalance to things, or it was just like you just wanted to consume whatever was going to numb you and you didn't care what it was?
exactly. And if I didn't have the pills, then I would drink. Um, but drinking was different for me. I loved the feeling right like off the bat, maybe the first two or three drinks. But then in true form, because I struggle with depression, the alcohol would then make me feel depressed, and then the tears would come, and it would be like, ooh, where the pills were like a stimulant to me. I was Adderall and it was opioids. So I was like, I liked that feeling. And I wouldn't take anything to kind of get me down. I would just stay up all the time and maybe sleep for 3 or 4 hours. But
So when
it's
that guy said that to you, how did it make you feel? Did it make you feel like you had to convince him? Did it make you feel sort of diminished? Like
well,
how,
I've
like
had a lot
what?
of people say to me, like, I don't think you're an alcoholic, or there's no way you're an addict. Like you have you've always seemed like you've had it so together. So that I respond to in one way, but for him to say, "Who told you that?" made me laugh because I was like, and I named all the people, places, and things that told me you got a problem. But it also was funny in the sense that the assumption was made that I had to believe that, like, somebody had to tell me something that I had to believe in order for it to be true. He was just like, who told you that? That's not true. And I was like,
That
oh my
up.
God. So
Now
it was kind
was
of
this
funny.
somebody who like knew you really well, or was it
Yes.
just
No, it wasn't a family member. It's a friend of mine. It's a friend of mine's husband who I also know very well. But I mean, we laugh about it. But the other people who are like kind of doubt that, put that doubt, like, I don't think you're an alcoholic, or I'm sure you could have controlled that, or it's diminishing and it's very like, I might not look at the part, but there is no look to this. I mean, I once thought there was a look to an addict. I once really thought, and I never thought it would be some educated woman from Avon, Connecticut. That's not what it looked like to me, but it has no face. Addiction and alcoholism has no face. And it can
Right.
be
There are
kind of,
doctors, lawyers in
oh,
meetings,
yeah, yeah.
all manner of educated people. And
But it's dangerous when you say that to somebody
it
because
is? I was just going to say
immediately,
the same thing.
yeah, it can be dangerous. Like, you don't
Especially, I think,
think so?
especially if somebody is not super secure in their sobriety,
yeah,
That's right.
it could
amen.
be a little triggering, is what I'm
Very
thinking.
triggering. Very
Oh, okay.
triggering.
Well, you know what? Nobody really told me that. It's just sort of a feeling I have. So, okay, let's belly up to the party.
Yeah. And listen, if I started drinking, like, I know that that would end up with me using. And that's what happened with Kristen. Like, Kristen, you were like, I don't think alcohol is my problem. And it
Yeah.
always was like on in your ear, like, no, 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 you can drink. It's the pills. I'm not a pill. I'm a drink.
Yep.
And that led you down right back into it and right back into the pills.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous for people to put that into our heads, because if we're not in a good spiritual place, we can grab onto that and go, maybe she's right.
Maybe she's not an
Maybe
alcoholic.
I don't have a problem and I can
Right.
try.
It's
Yeah.
funny too, because you say, like, I haven't hit a bottom with that. Like, I haven't hit a bottom with cocaine or heroin.
Mm.
I'm welcome to try that. And I know I'll hit a bottom and I'll probably end up dead or in jail. But yeah, like, it's correct. It's a drug is a drug is a drug. I've always said I'm addicted to anything that makes me feel good or feel in control, which I think maybe Sue can kind of talk to as well, on her end from her perspective. But like, trying to control situations. But
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, I think what it was is, for me, for my eating disorder, I think what it was is my whole entire life felt out of control. Like it felt like I wasn't driving my own life. I was doing everything that I was supposed to, should be doing, and it didn't feel genuine to me. It didn't feel like the life I wanted to be living. So, in order to control that chaos that was going on, like I focused on, calorie restriction and eating and the exercise thing. But, back to what you guys were saying, to me, it's like you're sitting at a dinner table with somebody who's a diabetic and passes on dessert because they can't have sugar, and you turning to them and say, well, who told you were a diabetic? I mean, it's the
that's a
same
great
thing. It's like,
example.
well,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, well,
Medical
this little
community.
monitor here, or the
Yeah.
Dexcom you have on your arm, or my doctor, or my blood work, or the lab, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so,
It's so
I don't
funny. So
know.
I
To me,
met
it
with
feels like
my
it crosses a line when you say that. To me, it feels like it's like there's a personal boundary that was crossed, and that's,
It
you
feels
know,
kind of like I turned to, I think back at the holidays, we all gathered at my father's house, and my family is I think, Deb, like you said, they see me and how I've managed to support myself and I'm put together and blah blah blah. But somebody, I think it might have been my dad, offered me a glass of wine, and somebody said, "You sure?" And I go, "Well, I'm an alcoholic, so I'm sure." Like kind of like drive it home, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just on
I
vacation.
remember you, Debbie, telling me a similar story, or I read it in your book. I don't remember. But you were out of rehab, and it was like the
It was
holidays,
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
and your dad's
Oh
like, "You want a
yeah,
glass of wine?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"What?" Like, no.
yeah, I remember
But see,
that, Deb.
Yeah.
sometimes I think, back to, what we spoke about is, or what you touched upon, and same thing for me. It's like I think people have in their mind what the face of alcoholism should look like, or what the face of um drug addiction should look like, or what the face of anorexia or bulimia should look like,
Hmm.
right? And when they don't see that on the surface, it's like it doesn't put two and two together in their brain that this could actually be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we hide
Or
it. We hide it really well too.
the other thing I also think too, and this is just a theory, is um, when it doesn't look different than them, they were like, oh my God, like this could actually be me. Or they have to look at themselves, or they have to be like, oh, do I have some behaviors that maybe not so healthy? And you know what happens when people are forced to look in the mirror, they tend to look the other way.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I think that, I was just on vacation with my family, and um, someone said to me, "You're not an alcoholic." And again, it's it's I don't know what the motivation for saying that was. I'm just as fun as I was when I was drinking, if not probably more. Like I don't get sloppy. I don't ask the same questions over and over again. I'm not an idiot. But yeah, it's like, why are you, don't question me, like this is, but again, a grace. I give grace.
Of
I
course.
know I'm an alcoholic. I know the scene. It's like someone with depression. I saw a woman at a meeting the other night who was sharing about her intense depression. And she has significant time in the program. And man, this gal was funny when she was talking. And I thought to myself, what a mask. Man, she's got the little one liner. She's funny. She's quick. She's witty. but she's sharing her real experience of how she feels inside, and it's just desperation. And that it's a mask. We're very good. I'm very good at hiding, you know, how I truly feel, maybe, or whether or not I have a problem. I can just mask it. It's kind of like being a chameleon, I think. You just adjust yourself. So
Yeah.
I also think wearing that mask comes out of fear of judgment.
mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I worry about people who overcompensate with humor.
Oh yeah.
Because look at Robin Williams, look at these comedians who that's their coping mechanism, and it's hilarious for us, but they're in some deep pain.
A lot of pain.
Yeah. And it's just like somebody going up to them and saying, "You're not depressed. Look how funny you are."
Right.
That's
Exactly.
like, that can really invalidate the fight that you have been putting on, and that you're putting, and that the fight to keep clean, keep sober, keep your mental health in check. It's not easy. Nobody wants to be an alcoholic or an addict. I mean, we really don't. It's not fun. It started out like, oh, this feels good, and I like this, and I can live my life like this. And by the end, you are just battling to keep yourself alive and feeling normal. You don't feel high at the end of when you don't,
you just feel sick.
You don't feel good. Yes. The alcohol consumption will keep you from shaking and feeling ill, but it's not fun. You're not having fun, and the pills, you keep taking them because you don't want to go through withdrawal. Like that's all you're doing towards the end is keeping in survival mode and maintaining and just trying to feel normal so you can cook dinner for your child or empty the dishwasher. And these small little tasks become hugely difficult when you're fighting an addiction or alcoholism. And so for somebody to kind of be like, that's not true. It's like, okay, I wish it wasn't, but it is.
It just, and it minimizes I think it minimizes, but again, I think people say things like that out of fear. I think people say things like that because they're not comfortable with it, being around it. But, to me, it's more like it should open up a conversation rather than shut somebody down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The more conversations we can open up about it, the more people will realize how prevalent it is and how it's not targeted to one demographic or another. It affects everybody.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why a lot of sober people won't hang out in places where people are drinking. And that's where the conversation is going to come from when you're a sober person with people who are drinking. I happen to be in that situation a lot. Like
I'm not yet. Right. Exactly.
So I have those conversations with people. Like they ask me like, well, so what was it like? What is it like how do you deal with being out in a place like this in Newport, and all this drinking? And those conversations definitely happen. And I just say to them, I say hello to people. I have my conversations. And then the minute I feel like those drink is going too much, the volume's getting too high, the talking's getting too close, or the conversations are no longer
meaningful and productive
between a human being. Like I'm going home, like, and I leave.
And the drinks look pretty. The drinks start to look pretty.
Yes, exactly. And they look like they would taste good, So I just go, but I'm not going to stop my life and being around people who I love because they drink and I don't. I just
But let
won't
me
tell
ask you
them.
something. Was it all like now you're 20 something year, 22 years into it?
Mm. Mhm.
Did you feel the same way 2 or 3 years into it, or did you avoid it? And then as you got more of the recovery program under your belt and part of your life, you were able to be more comfortable with it?
I was comfortable right from the get-go because when I got into recovery, I was dating somebody who drank casually, did not have a problem. But when we would go to family events at my house or with my family or with his, there would be a lot of drinking. And I would just, I was okay with it. And once I made the decision that I did not want to live that life anymore, there was very few things that would have pushed me back into that life. And I just felt so good and so like happy to be free of that
Mhm.
addiction that I'd much rather be sober with a bunch of, people that are drinking. But as I got, and it's interesting because I do want to connect with those people who are currently in their addiction and don't know how to get out of it and don't think that there's a way to get out of it or don't think that they'll have a life outside of drinking or drugging because it's Kristen and I have heard it a million times like, well, I won't be any fun or I
Mm.
won't be able to hang out with these people anymore or my friends won't like me. And it's like, maybe not. Maybe you will lose friendships, and maybe you won't be able to hang out with the same people, but you're going to make that choice because of the way it feels on the other side. And you're going to be like, yeah, it's cool. I can totally hang out with them and not party. Or I don't want to be around people like that anymore. It no longer serves my
Right.
needs, So
I'm a little bit the opposite of you, Deb. While I agree 100%, I have no qualms about hanging out with people who are drinking. I feel like I feel a little, it just gets to me. It just gets to me a little too much, like I'm not, I, so my last relationship, he was a casual drinker, a daily drinker, but drank small amounts, and did not understand the disease of alcoholism. So when I met him, I was sober and I was sober for the first 2 years of our relationship. His mother, on the other hand, had been married to an active alcoholic and a sober alcoholic. So she understood
mm,
the disease of alcoholism. So when I made a decision to start drinking again, and he was like all for it, I think he wanted a drinking buddy. I really and truly do. I don't think he respected my sobriety, mainly because he didn't understand it. I don't think, his intentions were bad to make me suffer. But his mother, I'll never forget when I said to her I was going to start drinking again. She goes, "Are you sure, Kristen? That's probably a really bad idea." And I was sure, of course. And then fast forward to a few years in, I had brought something to his family drank and drank, like my family drinks. They just look like they're having fun. I was telling my son on this vacation and my daughter, the hardest part is watching people not get slappy and just have fun. That's really difficult for me because it makes me want alcohol. But anyway, I remember bringing like I don't know, a half pint or something to some family gathering. And she looked at me and she goes, "You sure that's not a problem for you yet?" And she was 100,000% right. Like,
mm,
because she understood. There's so many
yeah.
people. I appreciate the questions. I love the questions from people who want to know, hey, how do you deal with this? What do you do? What's it like? I can appreciate those and I like to explain, but not everybody understands the disease of alcoholism. So that's a challenge, I think, and maybe why people would be like, ah, you can have just one, because they don't
Mm.
understand. That's that in a nutshell, that's it. They just don't understand.
Yeah, or they do understand and they don't want to be around a person who's not drinking because it makes them feel uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yep.
It's like, it's that adage of they need to be around the same exact people to make themselves feel comfortable in their own skin,
Yeah.
rather than saying like, you know, no.
I
I
we
mean,
have
go ahead.
sorry. We have a friend, a couple that is good friends of ours, and they both drink, and she she won't come to Florida to visit because she's afraid that she's going to be her drinking will be judged by me. And I've never judged anybody from drinking. My two girls here that are on this podcast with me, they know the life that I live and who I live
Yeah.
with. They do. I am not going to judge anybody for
No
drinking.
way.
I'm like, you do you, you know? And but I always
Well,
say,
okay, so when we were all on vacation, I had, you know what? I picked up a bottle of skinny margarita and had a
yeah,
drink every day. And I was like, I don't ever get sloppy drunk. I don't. I do get mouthy a little bit when I've had too much to drink, which, sure doesn't shock any of you. But, I was like, listen, I'm on vacation. This
yeah,
relaxes me.
yes.
And so, but then there's also people, I think one of you, I don't, maybe or maybe not, or maybe it's, somebody else in my life that says, you know, what does that do for you? Not understanding that I don't drink to get drunk.
Yeah, no, it wasn't us.
And
Mhm.
so
We
always say it
understand.
just relax it just kind of relaxes my shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It relaxes me. I only need one. To be frank with you, I get so sick of drinking water all day long
Hmm.
that, and 9 out of 10 times I water it down with ice, right? But it's just like I just need a little something.
Yeah, but did you feel
Or I
judged by
want. I shouldn't
us?
say I need,
Did you feel
but
judged by us when you were drinking?
God no. And I didn't
No.
feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you do you. And but I will say when people come down and um I always say to them, have fun, do what you want. You're on vacation. I if all of a sudden I'm no longer out with you guys, it's because I needed to go.
Yeah.
And also I get in bed every night at 9. Feel free to stay up as late as you want, go down the beach, do whatever you want. Don't take it personally. I have to stay in my own rhythm,
Right.
or else
Right.
I get all twisted up and I have to work and everything like that. So I make it very clear, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And nobody gives me a hard time, and I don't give anybody a hard time. And it's like,
But the
but
people who
people do
can't
feel
do that
judged.
are
People,
uncomfortable in their own skin.
yeah,
They're uncomfortable and it
yeah,
makes them look at themselves,
yeah,
right?
yes, they feel judged. And
Which
that
is
means
not, yeah.
they're looking at themselves and judging themselves because
I
I
mean,
can
this is a
promise you I'm not
totally like
judging
it's,
you.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, this is definitely a different example, but when I go out to dinner, 9 times out of 10, I will order a salad with protein on it.
Mhm.
Eight 90% of those 9 times out of 10, the people I'm with make fun of me.
Mm.
What?
And they're like, come on, live a little. I said, it's kind of exactly what you guys said. I'm like, listen, I know what does not bother my stomach, and I don't want to go out to eat and then have a stomach ache and be up all night.
Right.
Right.
Like,
And
I'm out to enjoy the company, to not have to cook, to have somebody wait on me and just relax.
although lettuce nowadays can give you explosive
Yeah.
diarrhea, I'm just saying.
Duly noted.
I hate it when people
However,
say,
but
"How
I'm
come
like,
not in a salad?" So
and exactly, and I'm sort of like, I'm sorry that my food choice makes you uncomfortable
yeah.
Right.
for eating a
Yes.
fried, seafood tower, but
Yeah.
let it go. You know what I mean? And I do feel like behind the humor is this level of discomfort, either with my discipline or just knowing, not being willing. I'm just not willing to feel like shit. Just
Right.
like you guys, you're just not willing to feel like shit any longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. or live a life of that we don't want to
Yeah.
live. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, and I'm always, yeah, that's a really good example
It
because
is.
Always
everybody
made
who
fun of. Somebody at
everybody
the table is always laughing, like, figures. Like,
yeah,
fuck
it's like,
off.
and you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and listen, I'm a big fan of salads. I love them. But I sometimes will eat a salad just so I can feel guilt-free about the enormous dessert I'm going to order.
Sure.
And everybody that knows
Same
me
thing.
knows that
Same.
I am all
Same
about the
thing.
dessert. And I'm like,
Sometimes
okay,
and sometimes it's the same for me. Sometimes it's like I know that I'm gonna dip my fork or my spoon into that dessert, and it also gives me a guilt-free cocktail.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I
Yeah,
mean, cocktails have a lot of calories. So I'm like, you know what?
yeah,
I'm gonna have a salad, a little piece of chicken on it, and I am going to enjoy this cocktail like it is my job.
yeah,
And
exactly.
be guilt-free for the extra whatever it is. But it's like, I know that the eye rolling and the snickering and oh, here she go, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not judging you. I don't
Yeah,
sit there and be like, oh, watch over that, fried seafood tower or whatever the fuck you're eating.
Yeah.
Don't, and it is literally a discomfort projection. They're
and people like
uncomfortable.
to have a partner in crime when they're doing something that they feel like I probably shouldn't be
Naughty.
doing this. Yeah.
Right, exactly. I probably shouldn't be having this other beer. So as long as everybody else in the room is having another one or another drink or getting stupid and sloppy, it makes them feel good about themselves and drive by
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
or quell those feelings like, maybe I shouldn't have this
Well, and
fourth,
I
fifth,
also feel like
ninth drink.
if they're feeling judged, then chances are they're judging others. So let's just not judge each other. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
live and let live.
Yeah.
You do you, I'll do me.
Agreed.
If it's not your cup of tea, well, that's okay, but everybody's doing what they can to get by,
Yeah,
and so
agreed.
It's like an
Agreed.
unsolicited opinion, right? Like, unless you're asking for someone's opinion, don't tell me
right.
I'm not an alcoholic or
I
another
don't have
salad.
depression. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's not, it's hard to do, but um, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of depression, and then we're gonna wrap this up. As everybody knows, I tried to get off my meds, and then I that did not work for me, so I quickly got back on them, and I'm feeling 100% better.
Yeah.
So if anybody is thinking, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not feeling good, or oh, la 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 la, like I call them my brain vitamins because that's what my therapist told me to call them because I was really giving myself a hard time about having to go back on them.
I love,
Um, and so take your brain vitamins, whatever that is,
yeah.
Right.
if it's
My brain vitamin
exercise
is
or,
exercise.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
my brain vitamin.
mine's an
Hey,
antidepressant or two.
yeah.
Kristen likes to run to
I
feel
like to
better.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
So
definitely.
find your brain vitamin and don't judge others.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen. And
that's
don't
Judgy
the
judge
Wudgy
message for
wasn't
everybody.
there.
today. No judgy
Life's too
wudgies.
short to judge other people. Like, stay in your lane. Do
Yeah.
you?
Put what did we say last week? Straighten out somebody else's crown so that,
Crown.
yeah, let's focus on
Yes.
that
Love that. Yeah.
instead of
Yes. I
knocking it
love
off their
that.
head. Yeah.
I love that. All right, girls. Love you all, both.
Namaste,
Love you.
everybody. Namaste.
Listen, if anybody wants to message us or has a topic or wants to say something or give us feedback, rewind and reflect with us, all spelled out
If you want to
at
judge us or
gmail.com.
knock our crowns
If you'd
off,
like to judge us, if you want to snicker
We
in the
welcome
written
that's
form
judgments.
fine. We
about my
don't care.
salad and chicken on it, then go right ahead. It works for me. It works for
I
me.
know it's delicious.
It really
It
is.
is.
It
I love it
is.
too.
Yeah.
All right,
All
deblawlessmiller.com.
right.
If you need somebody to
Yes,
come to your facility and speak about addiction.
Queens. Till
Yes.
next time.
Bye,
Peace.
Love
everybody.
you
Love you.
both.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.